You know how Tetris has no ending and will go on forever? In fact, in 2013, a programmer named Dr. Tom Murphy created an AI that is meant to beat any NES game. Examples are Super Mario Bros., Hudson's Adventure Island, Pac-Man, The Karate Kid, Bubble Bobble, and Color a Dinosaur. The results for those games aren't really important, either the AI succeeded or not, but what I find really interesting is what it did with Tetris. For those games, it played the game normally, or at least normal for an AI, but in Tetris, the AI did something none of us would even have thought of doing. At first, it stacks blocks because it realized the game wants the player to stack blocks. It did so without any regards on positioning or eliminating rows, but here comes the best part. As soon as it is about to lose, it pauses the game because it realizes that as soon it unpauses it will lose. And as the creator said,
as soon as he unpauses, he will lose. And really, the only winning move is not to play.
In 2023, 34 years after its release, a 13-year-old named Willis Gibson beat Tetris for the first time. But did he really? Well, technically he did. NES Tetris is a really old ancient game developed back in 1989, so when Gibson beat Tetris, what he actually did is made the game exceed to the point where the game can't keep up with itself. Here's an explanation. The game isn't programmed to play until the very high levels because no one is expected to be there, or at least to be there for long when they made the game. So eventually, it glitches from the game reading the code to run to the game reading the ROM instead, which in turn breaks the game, which is called the true kill screen. So he didn't really beat it. It just got to the point where he made the game give up, because let's say it's not NES Tetris. Let's say it's a Tetris game on a device that can run infinitely and is smooth with its programming so that it won't crash no matter what happens. Then that means that Tetris can and will go on forever infinitely, assuming the game also found a player that is capable of keeping pace with its speed. Whether the speed becomes fixed at a certain point or keeps speeding up forever, that is also isn't limited by age or fatigue or even death, and could also play it forever. Sort of an unstoppable force meets an immovable object type of thing. Then that just means no one can really beat Tetris. The only winning move is not to play. This isn't a game to be beaten. It's a test of who gives up first. And it won't be the game. But that's where it gets interesting, because to truly understand the big of a deal this thing is, you need to understand what infinity is. We all have heard of infinity, but I don't think you truly understand how infinitely big it truly is. When the word infinity comes to mind, you might first think of the universe, or maybe even the symbol, which is fine, because remember back when you're a kid when you thought 100 is the biggest number until you find out about 101? Well, you will never experience that again. If you imagine the numbers as a physical thing that exists, like look around your room and have a visual image where you see numbers like those hacker green screens, ones and zeros. No matter how small you made those numbers, no matter how you fit each of those numbers in this space, it will always fill your room. Go outside and also do that. It will fill everything. Now let's go outside the planet and imagine the whole galaxy. With those same visual image, same sizes, same everything, you will fill that galaxy with numbers. And let's go outside the galaxy. Let's go to the fourth dimension, which I won't get into for this video. It will also fill those areas. It will never run out. It means that the universe might end, each element might cease to exist, the universe might even reset itself multiple times here and there, but the numbers will never end. Infinity has no end. It has no limits. Now, I know what you're asking. If infinity is a number, does that mean that the largest number is infinity? Or no, you're probably not asking that. I just need something to transition to tell you about infinities inside infinities. That's right, we're not done. How? Decimals. Let's say you're homeless and beside you, another homeless person. Both of you beg for money and I happen to come by. I gave the one beside you $5 since he's the one closest to me. Then I noticed you and decided to give you $4. You saw that it's less than his, so you told me, "Hey, why'd you give her 5 while I get 4? Well, first I'd say how ungrateful you are, and then I'd give you a dime. So now you have $4.1 and 0.1 closer to hers than before. And then I'll feel bad, so I'll give you another 10 dimes. So now you have $4.11. And then I give you another 100, then you'll get $4.111. Well, unless you convert those 0.11 to a dollar, then I'd say you got more than she has. But let's say you can. My point is that there are infinities between the numbers, and even with that infinity, you'll never reach the next number. I could give you 4.1111111 to infinity dollars, and you'll never reach $5. Again, assuming you can convert those decimals into an actual dollar. There are two types of infinities. The numbers or natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. to infinity are called countably infinite. While the one I just pointed out, the numbers or the real numbers between each natural numbers, for example 4 point whatever, is uncountably infinite. And also for the 1% who actually asked the question, the answer is no, infinity is a concept, not a number. But let's stop with all this math stuff. Let's go to what the cool kids are into these days. The golden ratio. Now, I want you to bring out a sheet of paper with the size of exactly 4.85410196625 by 3 inches, which the ratio will be 1.61803398875. Then, I want you to perfectly cut a 3 by 3 square on it and throw it away. Keep the remaining paper, and now you only have 1.85410196625 by 3 inches paper, which the ratio is also 1.61803398875. The exact same ratio before you cut off the paper. Do this a bunch of times and draw a cool curved line from corner to corner, and you'd get a pretty cool looking spiral. Now, you might say that this isn't mind-blowing since you could do the same with an A4. If you divide it in half and keep dividing it in half, you'll also get the same ratio each time. Well, you're right. But the difference is that with an A4, you must cut it symmetrically. But with this, you cut it asymmetrically, which in turn makes it symmetrical in a weird way. Just like infinity, you can cut it or multiply it infinitely, but you'll always get the same results. Like fractals. Look at this. You might think that this is just some optical illusion, but yeah, you're kinda right. But what it actually is a fractal. You know the meme of the guy giving up while thinking of the guy who won't give up while thinking of the guy who gave up with the guy who won't give up? Yeah, that's a fractal. Well, repeat that like an infinite amount of times and that's a fractal. Actually, never mind. It's much more complicated than that, but that's the idea. Fractals are shapes with patterns, no matter how infinitely you zoom in. Doesn't really have to be repeating patterns, but most are. Fractals are interesting because of their infinitely never-ending shapes and patterns. Again, just like the golden ratio, it feels chaotic yet beautiful in its own way. Like, no matter how far you zoom in or zoom out, you'll end up being in the same or at least near the spot you were before. Just like in Tetris, no matter how far you've come, no matter how infinitely time has passed, no matter how infinitely fast it's gone, you will still be clearing those same 4 lines you've been clearing for the past infinite time. For infinite more time.